I did something dumb when I was 18. I was away at school on the East Coast, Massachusetts, and the semester had just started, but it was the first time in my life I'd ever been away from home, from my parents and sister and people I knew. And all the trees looked different, you know? I mean, I knew they were the same trees, but they all seemed different because I didn't recognize anything. Every time I left my room, I'd get lost. Everyone seemed so happy to be at college. Like this was real life. It was finally happening, but it didn't feel like it was happening for me. And my roommate, he was this guy, and he knew a bunch of people, so there were always these people in my room, people I had never met, guys and girls. And I never had any time alone. I never had any time alone in the room, which really kind of got to me. I would go on these long walks just so I could be alone. And then I'd start to feel better and I'd think, oh, I'm going to make it. And I'd try to go to my classes, but I didn't know any of the people or my teachers, and so I just started going less and less. And because I had the top bunk, I would just lay there when people came over and hung out or partied or did coke. One time my roommate came in and he had this girl with him. He'd done that before, have a girl with me there. And they got in his bed and started going at it, and I was just laying there above them, listening to them kiss. The girl even asked, oh, what about your roommate? And he said something like, I was out for the night. And they went back to kissing. I don't even think that they knew I was there. I mean, they were both drunk probably, but that's what really made me mad, that they didn't know I was there. So I climbed off the bed and the girl said something and I went to the bathroom, you know, one of those big communal ones, and someone had left their shaving kit. So I took a disposable razor and I tried to slit my wrists. But all I ended up doing was giving myself razor burn because it was a safety razor and I couldn't figure out how to get the blades out. So then I decided I would try to freeze to death. And I walked outside in my pajamas. It was only November, but it had already snowed, so there was snow and leaves everywhere. And I thought, this is as good as it's going to get for me. And I laid down in the snow. It was already like 5 or 6 in the morning, and the security guard came by and tried to get me to stand up, but I told him I didn't want to, so he had to pick me up and carry me to the back of his car and drive me to the hospital. Then the school called my parents, so I had to deal with that. But this was all. I had to drop out of that school, and then I went to art school after that, and things got better for me. But what I mean is, I'm not a bad person. I just get depressed sometimes, and I don't know why. But it only lasts a couple of days, and then usually I'm pretty good. Pretty great, actually. I just can't be around people all the time. Because being around people makes me sad sometimes. I think that's why my wife left me, if that makes any sense. I can tell by the way you're looking at me that it doesn't. But it does. It's an actual medical condition. I'm on medication for it. Are you looking at me funny, or are you just looking at me?